Today's lesson we will talk about prime and composite numbers. So as we begin, let's first discuss what a prime number is. A prime number, a number that has only two factors. That's only two factors. And those factors are 1 and itself. So let's look at some examples of what a prime number would be. Let's take the number 3. If you think of what times what gives you 3, the only thing that gives you 3 is a 3 times 1. So 3 is a prime number. It is prime. Because the only two factors, remember a factor is something that you multiply together to give you this number. So another number example of a prime number would be 11. Because the only factors are 11 times 1. So it is prime. 17. That's another prime number. The only thing that would give you 17 is 17 times 1. So it's 1 in itself. That gives you a prime number. So the opposite of that, or the next terminology that we want to talk about, is something called a composite number. A composite number, so that is a number that has many factors. So this is a little bit different than the prime in that prime, remember, had only two factors, one in itself. A composite has many factors. So let's think of some examples of a composite number. 12 would be a composite number. You've got 3 times 4, you have 2 times 6, you have 1 times 12. So it has many things that you multiply together to give you 12. So this would be what we call a composite number. Another example would be the number 18. We could have 2 times 9, 1 times 18, 3 times 6. So again, there's more than just the 1 times 18, so it is a composite number. It is a composite number. Now, another thing that you'll be asked to do sometimes is to do something called prime factorization. And this means you want to factor each number all the way down until you get just simply prime numbers at the end. Sometimes also you may have heard or referenced, I like doing it this way, it's called making a factor tree. Making a factor tree. So let's take the number 12. We know it's a composite number because it has a lot of factors to it. And let's start breaking it down. We put the little arrows underneath of it and just think, what times what gives me 12? Well, I might think of 3 times 4. Okay? And then you look at 3. Does there 3, will it factor down any more into any other factors? Only 1 in itself. So I'm going to go over to the 4. It breaks down into 2 times 2. So at this point, I'm going to list down all of the very bottom. I'm going to bring this 3 down so I don't lose it. Okay, so now I've got a 3 times a 2 times another 2. That would be called prime factorization. I've multiplied it all the way down to where I only have prime numbers at the very bottom. So you may write it out like this. 12 equals 2 times 2 times 3. I like to put it in order from smallest to largest. Not a requirement, just something I like to do, and put them in order. Like all the 2's together, all 3's together, and so forth. Let's do another number. Let's do 24. Break it down into, let's say, 6 and 4. That 6 I can factor down again into 2 times 3. This 4 I can break down into 2 times 2. So that seems to be as far as it can go, so I'll take 24 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Notice how I just put them all together. Now, somebody, you might be curious and say, well, what if I did 8, oh, what if I did 8 times, let me erase that 8 there and get my marker in there, there we go. Let's do this division, that little factor tree symbol there. So let's multiply that times 8 times 3. And now I can factor down my 8 into 4 times 2. I'm going to bring this 3 down just so I don't forget about it up there in the air. This 4 would factor into a 2 and a 2. Bring that 2 down, bring that 3 down. I'm going to draw a line here so you know that we're talking about a different problem. So I would get 24 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And you can notice that either way, whether we did 6 times 4 or 8 times 3, in the very end, we got the same answer. In the very end, we got the same answer. Okay? Same answer. Either way. Doesn't matter. Alright, so just to review, a prime number, again, has only two factors, one in itself. Composite number could have several factors. And then prime factorization is simply making a factor tree, which looks like this picture, until you get down to the very bottom where you only have prime numbers being multiplied together. And that's breaking it down, and that's called prime factorization. You're factoring till you get prime numbers. Again, prime numbers, only factors of one in itself. I hope this video has been of help to you and you have a better understanding now of prime and composite numbers. Please look up for some other videos from me from tutorplace.com about other middle school math topics like decimals, fractions, integers, equations, proportions, percents, and much more. If you'd like more information about other middle school math classes, units, or lessons that I have available, or if you'd like some tutoring help, please just send an email to stemtutorplace@gmail.com. stemtutorplace@gmail.com. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you again next time or hearing from you via email. Thanks so much.